Welcome, welcome to my show. Welcome to my channel. Many blessings. Namaste. Going to talk a little bit on the situation and get down to exactly what it is, because there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of distorted energies out there for people to be able to understand 100% of the truth. So we're going to take it back into, we'll go back into the tree before the fall, okay? And everything was peachy, okay? Then there was an invasion, okay? Chaos came. And then certain timelines were created, as in Egypt, the fake Egypt, the biblical times, pretty much anything and everything to the east. That has been, like the desert was created with no trees and stuff like that. So this type of stuff is an invasion and a destruction of Mother Earth and Gaia. There's a lot to understand with the process of ascension and the process of the fall, and what's taking place and the return of the feminine, to put them back into the tree. And creation has been fixed. All the feminine that are within the tree have all been put back in. Divine Mother, Venus, Gaia, Pleiadians, the nymphs, fairies, and so forth. Everything has, the temple has been recreated, the house, the blueprints have been rebuilt, we'll put it, because of what took place over eons. The planets, the sacred water was infested with fleas, we'll put it, and this all has to do with people's memory and consciousness of understanding their dimensions and the reality that they're in, and where they are with being connected to God and God's frequency, Mother Earth's frequency, and so forth. And so, we fell out of the tree and we all chose to reincarnate today to help save Mother Earth and the planet and the way of life when it comes to holding the status of where the feminine reside within the tree. Because if you see today the unbalance of between the masculine and the feminine out there in the 3D realm, everything came down from heaven, and it's a reflection of the family breaking up in heaven, to the reflection of what happens on earth. And for the over masculinity to sneak into the man and disrupt their frequencies, and it goes both ways, the man and the woman. It's the yin and yang, and so it's remembering who we are. It's remembering the level of our soul experience through all of these timelines. And in this timeline today, we're able to return back and become whole again by understanding that, during the cataclysms, pieces of us were scattered throughout the universe, pieces of Mother Earth, and throughout all of these timelines, there were pieces of you pieces of me throughout all of these timelines. And, everything has come back together. The blueprints, like I said, the order, the divine order of the pink rose and what was held sacred in the forest with the unicorns and the dragons and the fairies in the Nordic times and the mystical times. There's a frequency to everything, and that's what this frequency was of Mother Earth and all of the priestesses, we'll put it, all of the feminine who resided in the water, in the sacred waters and the rivers and so forth, the nymphs and river nymphs, mountain nymphs, the oceanic mermaids, and all this craziness stuff. And it's a creation thing, and it's heaven, okay? And so what took place is, you look at all the timelines of destruction. You look at Mayan, you look at Native American, you look at Nordic, you look at, Egypt and biblical times and all this stuff. And it's all an invasion into the house. It's the, there's a porthole, from history. Them trying to move forward in time, they're locked out of time. They're locked out of the new house, the rebuilt house that hold all of the feminine that are connected to the tree, with all the symbolism of today, all of the animals and the symbols and sun crosses and the chariots, and they have reconnected, for the ones who know which way to go, because it takes a lot to understand who we are, where we come from, and this whole thing of this reality. Because we have this whole 3D world playing out, but that's the invasion. That thing outside of your house is the invasion of what took place many moons ago, because they've been kicked out. They've been kicked out. There is a wall, there is a threshold between realms, between the fallen realm and between the higher realms. This is between heaven and hell. So this is the leaving of Egypt, leaving of Babylon, because people don't understand that they're still there. They've been still suppressing the people, suppressing, the way of life, and, this is, hell is not somewhere else. It's all within that creation out there. And so we've come back into the frequencies of what were taken away, back into paradise, back with the dragons and the unicorns in the sacred waters within the house. But there's nobody that can enter, because that's the problem. A lot of people sit here on their new age kick and think that they can ascend without looking at the darkness. People think they can go on and enjoy their small mind of entertainment in this reality without looking at the darkness. You can't. There's a deep manipulation when it comes to the spirituality of the people and the universe, because the teachings of the universe were corrupted. They were taken away, turned upside down, and the people, the house, the temple, as they say, within and without, as above, so below. Everyone talks on the temple within their body. But when it comes to who had the Masonic teachings, who had the teachings, who had the blueprints of the house, it was the feminine. Because they were the ones who gave birth. They were the ones who had the dragons in their belly. They were the ones who have the crossroads between realms. The lower realms where the babies are born, within the belly, under the sun cross, crossroads. So, people talk on this Planet X shit and they really have no idea because they don't know their symbolism. They don't know the frequency of what's in the temple, what's in the house. They don't know who's who. And there's a lot of fakes out there, a lot of fake channels, fake idols, spiritual or religious, it doesn't matter. It's all the way around. And so where we are at today on a frequency level, it is bringing in the frequencies of reuniting the feminine within the tree, which is the Divine Mother, Venus, Gaia, Pleiadians, the nymphs, river nymphs, so mountain nymphs, all the feminine, because there's only feminine. Mother Earth is an only feminine planet, and this over masculinity, who all of this, they call it the phallus, we'll call it the obelisk, because it's something different than what you think. People don't understand the dimension, the reality that they're in. They don't understand what the unicorn is, what the dragon is, and the connection between the two. Because these are higher vibrating animals that are not in your American horoscope. And a lot of people today, light workers, are white. Okay, we're gonna, people are white and maybe Native American, but that's as far as it goes. Because if you look at the tar, you look at the pit, you look at the people, you got to look at the tribes, who's being suppressed today. It ain't the white people up in the mountains and in the suburbs. Those are the people sitting on their high horse. It's within the cities. So we got to come back to understanding what is going on today. And what I have in my back pocket, nobody can comprehend. I can say it, but it doesn't matter because nobody can see it. So we are going back into the tree, and there's a lot of manipulation when it comes to these kundalinis and these dragons and all this stuff that goes on within. A lot of manipulation out there, a lot of people taking people down the wrong path. It's because people don't understand their being, where they come from, who they are, and the dimension that they are in. We're freeing the feminine, and we have returned them to the house, behind the wall, behind the iron shield. They're being protected by the dragons. This is creation. So these people, just whatever dimension you think you're in, whatever reality you think that you're in, you're wrong. You're mind controlled by the beast. If you want to go home, if you want to get out of this reality, you got to wake the fuck up. Because this thing is about to burn. This is Babylon. This is Babylon. Wake up. This is your time to wake up. Because it's happening all around you right now. But this is also an invitation. Because people will fall. The frequencies, the energies, it's going to bring them to their knees. Because they're not going to be able to understand why it's happening, what they're seeing. I've already been through the energies. I've been through the energies of all fallen realms. Because every timeline you look at today They've all been invaded, and they all come into the center of the same symbolism. Doesn't matter what tribe you come from. It's all within the circle. It's all within the design and the blueprints of the temple. The architect. There's a reasoning why blueprints are blue and why they're called architect. Architectures, building buildings, because you need to have the design. You have to have the imagination of what you're building. A new Earth has been built. Gaia has been rebuilt. But nobody can get in. Nobody's allowed in. Nobody knows where the entrance is, because there's only one entrance from Atlantis to Lemuria. Because everyone's talking on this. Everyone talks on Lemuria. Everyone talks on Atlantis. Everybody's talking on Ascension. But nobody knows where the door is. Nobody knows how to leave Egypt. No one knows how to leave Greece. No one knows how to leave past timelines. Israel. Because they're pulling the same shit on another generation. And it's all in the past. All this stuff has to do with religion and Jesus. And Jesus ain't in the past. This whole storyline of the biblical times in Egypt and whatever, it's all in history. It's all in the past. And a lot of people today say that history doesn't matter. The past doesn't matter. Yeah, you tell that to your ancestors. You tell that to the people who sacrificed themselves for you, for your grandchildren, for the way of life of being free. Because people don't have a clue of what is coming for the door. They don't have a clue of the frequencies of what came out of history. They say they come from Egypt. They say they come from the biblical times. You don't want to come from these times. You don't want it. You don't want to see what happened then. You don't want the smell. You don't want the stench. You don't want the frequency of walking through that shit. You don't want to know. People think today that it's all fun and games. It's not. And what is coming onto this earth plane is not fun and games. The English language has been corrupted. The words you speak are corrupted. All the frequencies that are connected to your words, Babylon burning. When you say it, it has no frequency because you have no understanding of what's going on outside on a massive scale of what has been released around the world. All you have to do is go back into history a little bit and look what came at the Mayans. Look what came at the Native Americans. They didn't know. They didn't know. But it came. You know the fairy tale. There's the fairy tale of the North, of what happened to the feminine. And then there's the fairy tale of the Mayans and the Native Americans. So, history is repeating itself. They've been here, they're coming, and you think it's not going to happen. Because it's ignored, because you don't have the frequency. You don't want it. But we have to go through it, and humanity is going to fall, because it's the only way to be free. We have to free ourselves from this enslavement. We have to free ourselves from this mind control of this beast, of this system, of the AI. The feminine need to be free again. The children need to be free and be put back into the presence of their divine mother and their divine father. Because this, what you see outside, is not heaven. What you see is a sacrifice. And people try and live next to it. They try and get entertained while people are being sacrificed. You think you're not in the fall? You think you're not in hell? You're just not looking around yourself. You're just not paying attention. Because it's coming for the temple door. They're knocking on the door because they've been kicked out. They've been kicked out. They're not allowed back into the mama's belly. They're not allowed back into the egg. They're not allowed back into the tree. They're not allowed back into Mother Earth, back into Venus, back into the Divine Mother, back into the water. They're not allowed. This is where the line is drawn. This is where the line is drawn. They're being pulled out of your shadow. They're being pulled out of your water. This frequency that is coming into your body that can't be understood is a higher Naga frequency of a perfect balance of your DNA and your rainbow. People don't know what creation is. They don't know how their crystals get color into them. They don't understand their rainbow. They don't understand Mother Earth's rainbow. They don't know how it's created. You know? They just see everything on the material side. They don't see anything spiritual because they can't tap into it because their rainbow was corrupted. Your rainbow, your water, the sun was blocked out. Are you ready to return home? Because we're returning home. Have a good day.